And breaking news, this is a big story that Republic is getting to you on the biggest story tonight. The conversation that happened between Joe Biden and Ashraf Ghani. The details of which now are coming out. Now, this is a report on the news agency Reuters that says that the US President Joe Biden spoke to Ashraf Ghani, the former president of Afghanistan. This was the end of July. According to this report that has the transcript of that conversation, Ashraf Ghani did mention Pakistan's role to Joe Biden and the fact that thousands of Pakistani terrorists were helping the Taliban take over Afghanistan. It also appears now that Joe Biden did absolutely nothing about Pakistan. Do remember, these are details and excerpts that Republic also has been able to get details of. This is also quoted full in Reuters. Now, obviously, Ashraf Ghani got no response on Pakistan's role. This does not surprise us. We are standing by to get you more details and the big picture with my colleague Abhishek, who joins us on top of this news right now. You know, Abhishek, I do not even know what to say right now. This is Joe Biden again and again telling the world when he speaks to the nation that everything is fine. He says the time of our exit, the way of our exit, everything was the best. And this is Ashraf Ghani time and again, not just telling him, but he has spoken to the world also in as many terms, making it very clear that Pakistan is the harbinger of terrorism. But this is the US absolutely choosing not to do anything about it.
Well, absolutely, Deepti. I would say if you go through this transcript of a conversation that happened between Presidents Biden and Ashraf Ghani on 30th of July, released today through wires, I would give you 4 points and start with the end or the last word that President Biden had or the last comment he made in the conversation. He says that, no, look, I thank you. Look, close air support works only if there is a military strategy on the ground to support. Essentially, President Biden, before hanging up, is saying, buddy, I am not able to give you air support because perhaps your troops are not working on the ground. There is nothing for us to support. Essentially, the Americans withdrew air support and threw the Kabul regime of Ashraf Ghani under the bus and open to an invasion by the Taliban. Second point that comes out very starkly, Deepti, for the viewers in the subcontinent, particularly India and the national security establishment, is that Ashraf Ghani underscored to President Biden that, Mr. President, we are facing a full-scale invasion composed of Taliban, full Pakistani planning and logistical support, and at least 10 to 15,000 international terrorists, predominantly Pakistanis, thrown into this. So that dimension needs to be taken account of. But then it seems it fell on deaf ears because the manner in which Pakistan has been treated, Deepti, by the Americans, by kid gloves, I would say, and the refusal of the American establishment to acknowledge that Taliban have ridden on the back of logistical, moral, financial support of the Pakistanis, which comes out so starkly from this conversation, clearly shows that the Ghani regime was thrown under the bus. And then, of course, the rest of the conversation, of which, if I can pick a couple of points, the third point that is I was mentioning, in which Biden clearly says that I am not a military guy, but then maybe you can try giving more freedom to your commander, to which President Ghani says for almost a decade, for 10 years, there has been no increase in the military pay of the soldiers of the Afghan National Army. Can something be done about it? And then President Biden, fourth point, clearly says that I am not getting good reports from the ground through my military advisors and the Pentagon, which means the Americans knew that the situation is dire. Americans knew that there is not going to be any air support to the Afghan National Army. Americans knew that the soldiers have not been paid for a decade and more. And more importantly, Americans knew that Pakistan is fully backing Taliban invasion and a subsequent usurpation of power of Kabul. So I think these are very important points coming out of this conversation between the two presidents, Deepti.
Oh, absolutely. So Abhishek, you know, if the US actually was aware about all this, why did the US choose to do the the things the way it did. What we'll do, Abhishek, is that we will keep coming back to you. I also want to interplace a lot more reactions that have started to come in, because this is a developing story breaking on Republic right now. I want to get in the first reaction also from Dr. Sriram Cholia, who is looking at this situation very closely. Sriram, in our last conversation, we were speaking about how this is going to be a big setback for Pakistan because the Durand line is not something the Taliban wants to recognize. But now it's a bigger scoop. This is a conversation that happened between Joe Biden and Ashraf Ghani on the 23rd of July. The conversation lasted for about 14 minutes, is what Reuters actually says. And look at this. It is making it absolutely clear that Pakistan was mentioned. Pakistan's role was mentioned by Ashraf Ghani in, a number of times in this entire conversation. Is there a particular reason today that the US did not want to act against Pakistan? Because the US can no longer just say, Sriram, we were not aware of this. Ashraf Ghani never told us this.
Knew they were playing, but they went along because they felt like they had to depend on Pakistan in order to maintain the logistics and the supply lines. Even in the last few weeks, and when this conversation happened between Ashraf Ghani and Joe Biden, they were still looking to pull out and cut their losses and run. So the Americans obviously have never gone to the source of the problem in Afghanistan, which was always Pakistan. Pakistani interference, meddling, hegemony, and attempts to dominate Afghanistan and to keep it weak and fragile. So I think, and Carlota Gall, one of the Western journalists, even wrote a book, I remember a few years ago, called The Wrong Enemy. In other words, the whole war effort of 20 years was aimed at the wrong enemy, because the real enemy is up there in the east in Rawalpindi. It's not in Kandahar or in Kabul or in Herat. So this is where, I think when we write the history of this failed American enterprise, clearly the inability to locate the nub of the problem for this whole jihadist menace and to overlook Pakistani complicity and double game, I think they just went along, because they felt like they had no other option. And they had an option. They could. Trump tried to change a little bit by applying pressure, but then again, he also loosened up. He also relied on Pakistan towards the end in order to get this Doha peace deal with Taliban. So Pakistanis, what they did is they blackmailed the US. It was the tail wagging the dog. They extracted $35 billion or more in military aid in 20 years, saying that we are your ally and we are supporting you, but actually they backstabbed them. So in that sense, the Pakistanis now...
Sriram, I again disagree with you. It is not that the US did not have a choice. I do not understand why the US could have not done anything about this. But, as I said, this is a story developing. I also want to get our viewers more details about excerpts of this conversation that really matter. Sriram, thank you for your time. I want to go back to Abhishek. Abhishek, let's pick up the next element here. This is also where Biden does not give Ashraf Ghani any substantive response to him on Pakistan. When Ashraf Ghani tells him that, Pakistan is being supported by the Taliban, there is a bit where he does not talks about empowering the defense minister to be able to tackle the Taliban. So clearly there is no strategy. Is that not? Why don't you break that point once more for us?
Well, Deepti, so in that part of conversation, President Biden is actually absolving himself, so to say, of all responsibility. He says, and I have to underscore this. He says, see, I am not a military mind. I have been advised by the Pentagon. They are telling me this. My military advisors are telling me this. I don't understand. But then, according to them, this is what you can do, which is give little more power to your defense minister, Bismillah Khan Mohammadi. Remember, Bismillah Khan Mohammadi had almost rebelled. He was someone who was in the provinces, then he was called to Kabul, but it was much late. He couldn't defend Kabul, and he was frustrated a lot. And he also, in many ways, blamed the Americans for refusal to carry on with their military support, particularly their air support in terms of bombings that they would carry out and over the horizon bombings they would carry out to facilitate the Afghan military movement on the ground, or the ground troops. So I think this adds up to the fact that ultimately it comes to this, that look, Americans cut a deal with Taliban in Doha. They implemented it on the ground. so far as their side of the deal was concerned, which was to exit. They did not enforce the Taliban side of the deal on Taliban, which included, among other things, an inclusivist government. They just exited and washed their hands off the Kabul regime, which they had supported for 2 decades. So I think this much really comes out clearly of this conversation, where President Biden is essentially saying a farewell to Ashraf Ghani and wishing him all the best and nothing more than that.
Abhishek, I want to read this bit here. Now, this is what Ashraf Ghani says, and I'm again quoting this Reuters report. Mr. President, we are facing a full-scale invasion composed of the Taliban, full Pakistani planning and logistical support, and at least 10 to 15,000 international terrorists, predominantly Pakistanis, thrown into this. Ashraf Ghani is talking about the numbers, Abhishek. He says at least 10,000 to 15,000 international terrorists, predominantly Pakistanis, thrown into this. So that dimension needs to be taken account of. This is verbatim what Ashraf Ghani told Biden in that phone call, the transcript of which now has also been accessed by Reuters, and we are quoting Reuters here, a conversation that went on for nearly 14 minutes here. Dr. Raghav also joins us. He looks at the big picture here with us from the Jindal University. Dr. Raghav, is there absolutely nothing that Joe Biden could have done following such details that were shared by Ashraf Ghani? You know, not that the US was itself not aware about it, but when you have Ashraf Ghani telling him in that phone conversation that lasted 14 minutes on July the 23rd, that, look, Mr. President, there are about 10,000 to 15,000 Pakistani terrorists here, and they will take over the entire state. He's warning him. But what did the US do?
Let us remember that, Joe Biden is not the only president who has been confronted with concrete evidence of the Pakistani hand in backing the Taliban, providing them political and moral support. Many Taliban fighters who've been interviewed, off the record, referred to Pakistan as their R&R facility, the rest and recreation facility. So this was well known, and 4 U.S. presidents effectively did not know how to, or did not want to deal with the Pakistan problem. And this really remains a puzzle. So it is not just Joe Biden, but presidents preceding him as well. They have failed to address the Pakistan problem. And Hamid Karzai has been repeatedly saying this in public. And, when he was president in private conversations, this has transpired. Let's also not forget, we're talking about Taliban terrorists. What about Osama bin Laden? Where was he found? He was found in Abbottabad, not very far away from a Pakistani military base. So clearly, there is enough evidence out there to show that Pakistan has been complicit in training, arming, supporting the Taliban. Their shuras have been based there. The fighters are treated there. They've been carrying out fundraising very openly. But
Raghav, before I let you go, if this is an open secret, I still do not understand that why the US still believes that Pakistan is a part of the problem. Just 20 seconds, please.
Sorry, why Pakistan is?
Why the US believes that Pakistan is a part of the solution, not the problem.
Well, I think America for very long hedged its best bets in Pakistan and believed that, foolishly, that the Pakistanis could get the Taliban to the negotiating table and they could have an honorable exit from Afghanistan. And clearly, as the withdrawal has shown, that policy has failed very, very spectacularly. And the US has suffered a strategic defeat, something that the Pakistanis have inflicted on the Americans, in fact, with the help of America.
All right, Raghav, the story is not getting over, but just because of want of time, I'm thanking you also, our colleague Abhishek, and remember, a lot more details of the story also going up on republicworld.com.